Hello friends, Jennifer Pearson here, Thistle Gypsy, with a video response and tarot tag, and it was the channel Dance of the Soul that started this tarot tag, and it's called Last 3 Tarot Decks. And I'm changing it a little bit. I'm not giving last 3 tarot decks, I'm just doing last 3 decks. Although one of them is a tarot deck. And it's a little bit off-kilter in the respect that 2 of these I bought and one of them is a trade. And the first question is, what were the last 3 decks you bought? And so I think that these are the last that I have received. Again, one was through the Tarot Swap trade group on Facebook. And even this is not exactly right. I bought also, which I just received in the mail, I think on Saturday. I was away, so I'm not sure exactly what day it came, but I got a deck, but I bought the deck. It's a deck I already have, and I mangled one of the cards during trimming, so I bought this other deck. It's not new to me, in other words. I bought this deck used, supposedly. It turns out it's not used. It's still in its plastic, but just to get a card, just to get the one card back for the deck I have. Alright, so the deck's in front of you in camera. This is Lord of the Rings Oracle, the Goddess Oracle, and do I have where's the guidebook? And this is the one by Amy Sophia Marashinsky, and then the Ghetto Tarot. And for the Ghetto Tarot, I've done a walkthrough video already, a review and walkthrough. So, the Lord of the Rings Oracle. And the second question is, what inspired you to buy them? So, the Lord of the Rings Oracle, because it was cheap. And everybody seems to hate it. It's awful, and etc. But, you know, I'm a fan of the Lord of the Rings. It was exceedingly cheap, used on Amazon, and so I thought, why not take a look and see if it's as nasty as people are saying. And I had a chance to look at the cards. It comes in this thing here that looks like a book. It's designed to look like a book, and then it has a tie here, so you untie it. It's cute. But I do get why people don't like it or are frustrated with it. I'm not sure how to put it here. Here's the book, and I haven't had time to spend with it because I kind of got it, and again I was away for a little bit, and so wasn't able to do anything with it. So it's a little hardcover book, you know. So some money went into that, and then you have the Great Ring. You've got the River Anduin. So these are the things I want to read. Is this in here? But some of the stuff, like how to use the map and the ring, I have to say, it sounded incredibly hokey. For one thing, this map you're supposed to use is plasticized, and it's plastic folded. Look at that. How are you going to get that thing to... It's not going to... How are you going to get it to lay flat? You're supposed to be able to lay this flat. This should just be tossed. Eventually, I'll just take the cards out of the thing. So you're supposed to lay this thing flat, and you're supposed to lay the cards on it. You're supposed to toss the ring on it, all of this other nonsense. Essentially, it sounds like the person who invented the quote-unquote oracle game aspect. Here's your ring. There's the ring. Probably made of wood. It's very light. does not sound like somebody who is hip to Oracle and it says by Terry Donaldson. I hate to disparage somebody, but the book and the game aspect seems like it is by somebody who is just is not very involved in tarot and Oracle. And I actually hadn't opened this. I thought I had. Maybe I was wondering whether I should open it. So here's the cards, and I got this. Again, I don't remember how much it was, but it was extremely cheap on Amazon, used. And this wasn't used, even though I bought it a used deck. It wasn't used. I just took the wrapping off of the cards. But being somebody who is very familiar, though my memory's going these days, but very familiar with The Lord of the Rings. I read it when I was in my teens, and then I read it when I was in my 40s, or maybe late 30s, right before the movies came out. I actually went to the bookstore looking for the books, not knowing, I don't have a TV, so I had no idea that somebody was making a movie out of it, and was looking everywhere in the store. It was like, why isn't it? It's not in the fantasy. It's not in the classics. Where on earth is it? Don't tell me it went out of print. It can't go out of print. And then as I was walking toward the door, I saw this big tower full of Lord of the Rings books because the movie was coming out. I thought, oh, all right. So I ended up, well, did I manage to read them all again before the movie? It was just the first movie. I don't remember. So I'm just very familiar with the story, and I figured I could use, this is the Shire, I could use these cards. I think there's 40 of them. I could use these cards without any of this, and that, so they're worth the price of the cards, even if I threw the rest of it away, which I don't know that I'll throw it away, but I'm certainly not going to use that ridiculous map because it's unusable, frankly, and I can't see using the ring. You know, maybe I'll use it as a little knick-knack out here. But Mines of Moria, Misty Mountains, the River Anduin, the Great Sea, the Grey Havens. So I just think, and this is, I would treat it like an Oracle, Shalab's Lair, City of Minas Tirith. Just, I think it's going to be a keeper. Is it, is the art super duper? Not necessarily, but I don't mind it, and it's more the idea of it, the reminder of, there's the Mirror of Galadriel, Staff of Gandalf. Oh, it's a bit of a weird one, but so yeah, I can Sword of Aragorn. I can find a use for these cards. I'm doing journey readings right now, and I figured this can maybe complement those journey readings. So there you go. Okay, so yes, what inspired me to buy this? Just The Lord of the Rings, the novelty aspect, and I think I can find a way to use it. I'm not stressing about it, but I expect I will find a way to use it. For me, I do have to kind of see that. I have to either be very into the idea of it, of a deck, like, say, the Ghosts and Spirits deck, which I loved all the idea of all the folklore that's in it. Then, I get into that, or I have to see a way that I can use it. The Goddess Oracle that I got in a trade, this I got, of course, again, because of the lore. And of course I can use it. Morgan Le Fay, Tara, and I liked this particular goddess deck. I had one that didn't suit me, and so I've traded it away, and I've got another goddess deck that I do like, but I like this one a lot. So I want to spend some time with some goddesses, and I do on my website I do a goddess card every week. So this gives me more depictions of goddesses of all varieties, because my other goddess deck is all Greek, so it's great to have a diversified goddess deck. So very happy to have this deck. And then I got the Ghetto Tarot. This is the book that comes with it, and it talks about the light aspect and the shadow aspect of each card, and I think it's meant to be a shadow exploration kind of a deck, and then just a little bit of each one. And I've been wanting this deck for a long time. Why did I get it now? Because I had a tax return, so I had some extra money, and although I needed to spend a lot of that money on practical things, I decided to indulge and finally get this deck. It's an indie deck, and it's an expensive deck. So, and again, this one I've done a walkthrough on it, a review and walkthrough on it already. I haven't had time to spend with this deck, but it's really, I'm going to skip to some other, you've seen some of these cards recently if you've been watching my video responses. And I got it because, if you might be able to see, it's a depiction. The deck was made in Haiti. The photographs were done by artists in Haiti, and I happen to work with Haitian people. I teach English as a second language, and we have a fair number of Haitians here. And I know some of the travails that country has been through, and the poverty. You know, to me, this is just a very unique deck, because it shows the human condition in less than ideal situations, and yet it shows how there can still be beauty. There can still be connection to the earth. There certainly is still strife. And the creative ability to make things happen. So I still do love this deck. And I actually feel like I want to just spend time with it. I need to get to know it. I'm not 100% on how it wants to be used. Although I did did I do a deck interview? Yeah, I did the deck interview with it, I think. So anyway, so there's that. What's the next question? Did they meet your expectations? Why or why not? Kind of like I said, I do a fair amount of investigating before I buy a deck. Usually, even in a deck trade, I get on Google, I Google the images, and that's the important thing to me. I often will get on YouTube and listen to some reviews. So even the Lord of the Rings Oracle, so many people were disappointed in it and hated it that it would be hard for me to be disappointed because I knew it was a risk to begin with. So I would say that they all met my expectations. I'm happy with all of them. You know, they've got the books, that came with them. This one doesn't really need a book anyway. It's pretty much Rider-Waite-Smith, but you know, it's got a fair book. The Goddess Oracle has a hefty book, you know, and the Lord of the Rings has maybe more of a book than I expected. So I'd say they all met my expectations. 4. Of the 3, which is your favorite? I'm sure this baby's gonna, because it's, you know, it's an all-purpose deck, whereas this is for special purposes and the other one is for special purposes. And because it is so unique, and it just, there's something in my soul that responds to this deck. So now I need to shuffle my Ghetto Tarot and ask, if it had a name, what would it be? If the deck had, well, the deck does have a name. It's called the Ghetto Tarot. But we'll go ahead and go along with the spirit of it. If you had a name, what would it be? Of course, this could be a little difficult. What if it's just 4 of Wands? You know, what kind of a name is that? But if you had a name, what would it be? And my understanding with this deck is that the word ghetto has a specific meaning to the people of Haiti and to that particular art group. Oh, look at that. The Empress. This deck knows that it's special. So, yeah, if you had a name, what would it be? The Empress. Isn't that great? And I was just looking at that card. It is the Queen of Decks. It is the Empress. How wonderful. Alright. There you go. I think I was saying something, but now I forgot what it was. And it's time to let the video go. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be curious to look at other people's latest deck purchases or trades. Alright, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.